So, are you anxious about things and wondering if you should really be anxious about them, but still not sure what to do? Welcome back to our series on emotional mastery. Today is day number 5, and I am actually talking about anxiety today. If you are new here, my name is Genese Smith, and I am a certified dream builder and transformational life coach. And I am very passionate about helping individuals and have been focusing quite a bit lately on helping women step out in confidence, especially after a very challenging time in their lives. You know, those situations that really sap your energy and leave you feeling sorry for yourself with little or no self-esteem at all? Yes. Well, those are the ones I'm talking about. I have been there. And I will be sharing with you some of those stories as we go along this journey. But for today, I will deliver what I promised. As I said, our topic for today is anxiety, and I will be discussing how anxiety affects us and some of the benefits, because everything has some good in it, even if we think it doesn't. We just need to look a little bit deeper. I will also be talking about 3 steps to deal with anxiety. But remember, check the description below for your 31 strategies to strengthen your self-confidence. You can find that link under free resources, and that's my gift to you. So let's talk about anxiety. When you're anxious, you can find yourself caught up in worry about the world and even your place in it. Anxiety can be so exhausting. Oh my goodness. I mean, most of all, it can affect you on many levels. Did you know that 18% of people experience anxiety disorders? And guess what? Only 36% of those people will ever seek treatment. And some people will tell you that anxiety is only confined to the world of mental illness. I don't know if that's what you think, but for me, there isn't a person in the world who hasn't experienced anxiety at some point in time in their life. But I'd like to know what you think. Put in the comments below. Do you agree with that? That's my opinion. What is yours? I would love to hear what you think about the subject of anxiety. So, what is anxiety? I will say anxiety crops up when you're worried, right? But there's definitely something deeper going on. You know, this anxiety thing is always coupled with a fixation, generally on something which may or may not happen in the future. Seriously, think about it for a minute. I'm thinking of all the times I've been anxious. And I create all these stories in my head, and sometimes they did happen and sometimes they didn't. So as I say, it's something in the future that may or may not happen. Very interesting. And I am sure you can think of a lot of ways that anxiety has held you back. So let's look at a few ways it generally holds us back. Remember, I mentioned before that with anxiety, you're always living in the future. And I would say it's as if you become obsessive about whether or not something disastrous is about to happen. You know, when you're watching those movies and you're just on the edge of your seat, just waiting, expecting, picture it. Just picture it for a minute, like you're on the edge of your seat, just in anticipation. Can you see it? This kind of constant worry and stress, man, it has many ramifications. And even as I think of it physically, I have to laugh as I look back at my own experiences. And I can tell you, it was not funny at the time, but now I'm learning how to laugh at my own mistakes. Our body reacts so strong to anxiety. You have this ramped up stress and dose of adrenaline, which just comes when you're worried about things. It's no wonder you're going to be experiencing this laundry list of physical symptoms such as headache, stomach upset, not to mention that irritable bowel syndrome, right? And then, of course, you have the rapid heart rate, the soaring blood pressure. Then you're feeling this increased pain. Some persons will have inflammation. And after all that, your body for sure is going to be exhausted. You have sleep disorders, and whatever sex drive you had would be just right through the door. And when you start looking at how it can affect you emotionally, the first thing you're seeing is those negative reactions. Some persons can tell you about the panic attacks, where your entire body is just shoved into that fight or flight sequence, which is so draining physically. Worse, panic attacks will increase your anxiety even more because now you have something new to worry about. So whether or not you're going to have another panic attack is what you're worried about. And then this can just become a self-fulfilling prophecy for you, right? Because the more you're worried about whether you're going to have another panic attack, the more likely you're going to trigger one. But there are other effects as well. Anxiety can lead to depression and other mental health issues. Over time, anxiety becomes a strong component of obsessive-compulsive disorder. And we can't forget how it holds us back socially, because anxiety is another one of those traps which isolate. You worry so much about the future. You start to lose confidence that things will go well or that you can succeed. And this is so crippling, especially at work. We know that once anxiety is in charge, you're less likely to perform well. And you're also less likely to succeed at what you attempt because your heart will never be in it, so as long as you're anxious. In relationship, this constant anxiety about whether the relationship is going well only serve to push that significant person away. So when you're nervous, you know that's going to also impact your friendships, as others begin to perceive you as someone who's too worried about the future to ever enjoy the moment. So let's look at 3 steps to deal with anxiety. Step number 1, minimize. The best solution for anxiety is not to allow the anxiety to get a foothold in the first place. So if you find that you tend toward anxiety, avoid triggers. Focus on the now. Learn how to breathe correctly, to slow down. Develop a coping strategy for panic attacks so you can use it automatically when you need to. Of course, I say preparation and attention to these details will significantly reduce the anxiety you have and also help you through it much quickly when it comes up. The second thing you want to do, get in the now. Practice mindfulness. Again, breathe. And take back your thoughts to the present. Remind yourself of reality. Are things as bad as you're thinking? Focus on objects and people around you. What do you see? Do you see a painting on the wall? Probably outside, you can see a bird flying, or you can see a cat or a dog running down the road. Remind yourself of what's going on, right? And just do this until you have returned to that state of calm. And this is the moment to use whatever strategy you have prepared for the panic attacks. So you know what that means? You need to develop some strategies that you carry around in your pocket, that you can just pull them out when you need them. The last thing you want to do is to know what's going on. So now is the time to ask yourself, what triggered the anxiety? And take a moment and explore the thought. Is there truly a need for fight or flight, or are you reacting to something? And as simple as this may sound, understanding these triggers is really crucial to working through them, because a lot of our anxiety comes from things that will never actually happen. Reassure yourself of this fact. And remember, breathe. Be kind to yourself. I would love to hear how those steps work for you. And if you are requiring more support, please go ahead and book a non-obligation session with me. And you can find the information in the description below. And let us talk. I would love to help you through this journey. If you have not subscribed already, click that subscribe button and listen to the entire series. I'm really glad you could join me today. And I'm looking forward to you joining me again for the entire series. And I'll talk to you soon.